Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to our good Nupes. We all say yo. Go up there, yo, brothers.
Yo, yo.
Yo,
Yo.
yo. Brother Ed Cole, historian for the Phoenix Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And of course, we have the 35th Grand Pole Mark of our illustrious fraternity, Brother Jimmy McMikle. We have Brother Javier Hill Roller from the Chi Chapter, spring 2017, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And Brother Darrell Hill Jr. from the Kappa Beta Chapter, University of Memphis, spring 2018. Brother Hill Jr., I say yo.
Yo.
So, brothers, we are here to celebrate y'all for what you did at Super Bowl 58 and your performance with Usher Raymond. For that minute that you were on stage, we just lost it as a fraternity, and we are so proud of you all. So, Brother Michael, I will, in deference, give it to you, brother. You go ahead and kick it off for us, Snoop.
Sure, Nupes. First, look, let me start off by saying that I'm proud of you. The members of Kappa Alpha Psi are proud of you, and you did a great job in a high-pressure situation representing the Crimson and Cream. And so I know that you're feeling the love right now. I've got many questions, but I'm going to start here with, listen, the internet is blowing up right now about your halftime performance. So I want to ask, how are you handling, your newfound celebrity status, and what did it mean to you to represent as members of Kappa Alpha Psi on one of the world's biggest stages in front of millions and millions of people?
DJ, would you like me to start?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
How have I been handling? Well, first of all, I'm not sure what has happened. Brother Michael, Brother Cole, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for the congrats. I've been just taking them one day at a time, because it's been growing and growing every day, and I've been doing my best to get back to everybody. I've been trying to enjoy it all. It's quite fast, and it can be a little overwhelming. But I'm popping up on places on the page that I've never seen before, like the explore different things like that. But it's been great. I've been feeling the love, and I think that is something that I'll never forget. And hopefully that the brothers can appreciate wherever they might be. It's been special.
Brother Hill, how has it been for you, brother, since Sunday out there in Vegas?
Oh man, honestly, it gets a little overwhelming at times. Your phone's going crazy, the constant notifications. I don't know about Javi. It was trying to keep up with everything and everybody, trying to get back with everybody. But I think one of the biggest things I'm just appreciative, from the support from the bond, then just friends and family, all that good stuff. But I think I'm just trying to take it in one day at a time, just bask in it. I think sometimes it hasn't fully hit me yet, but I'm just trying to just embrace the moment that we shared, the moment that we made happen, and just accept it and just live in it.
Brother Roller, how did this all come about where you and Brother Hill got the opportunity and the privilege and the just being on stage at Super Bowl 58? Walk us through how this actually came together, and you brothers ended up in Vegas and on stage in front of the biggest stage in front of millions and millions of people around the world. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. We auditioned. We got together, actually, ironically enough, to record each other doing our auditions. We had to create our own, clip, 30 to 90-second clip of an originally crafted and choreographed audition. No edits, no filters, no anything. They wanted just a raw video of us strolling, some with the cane, some without the cane. And then once we were, considered and we sent in our auditions, we were invited to perform in the Super Bowl halftime show. And they flew us out, and we were out in Vegas for a span of 2 weeks. And every day was challenging. Every day was pressure. Every day was something new. Every day, with thanks to Rio, man, we built it from the ground up, and we made it happen. It took those 2 weeks for that short span of time to execute and do what you all saw.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Listen, I think that a small group of us knew that you were going to have the opportunity to get out there, and so I'll share that. Once the first half of the game ended, me personally, I was watching with eager anticipation as to what part of the performance that you were going to make your appearance during the halftime show. So I can only imagine what was going through your minds as you were sitting there waiting for your part to come. So explain to us what was going through your mind once the halftime show began, as you were sitting there watching the show before you, and you thought, man, we're about to go live now. Help us understand what was going through your mind at that time.
I know for me, nerves for sure, definitely a lot of nerves. You know, when you rehearse it, because we of course rehearsed it at the stadium, you know, before we did the real thing. But when you rehearse it, that's one thing. You know, it's a bunch of empty seats. Even with the little bit of people that are there that are working the Super Bowl, you know, it's nothing like that moment. So when Sunday came in, God, when we walked out into the field, you know, I think they were like, okay, we got 1 minute. Literally, like that countdown, like my heart's beating fast. I'm like, oh my God, like this is, woo, okay. And I couldn't see the field yet. I could just hear the countdown. And then finally I walked out there, and when I looked around, whoa, that was a lot to take in. But the thing about it, I think Javi used that word pressure. We just had to tap in and just lock in. Is the job done? You know, it's what we were made for. So I had to channel that energy and those nerves, the anxiousness, and utilize it as a fuel almost to get the job done.
And personally, I know, man, I was fired up, man. We were so. I just understood the pressure. I understood that it was bigger than us, and that, you know, I kind of had to. Me personally, I kind of had to set myself aside and just understand, like, you know, they're gonna get it. You know, like, they don't know what they for. We got to give it to them, and it is what it is. I was telling DJ, I was like, bro, it's us against the world, bro. We got to do it. We got to go out there and we got to represent, bro. And we got to give it the best that we got. You know, like, we was going over in the tunnels before we were led to the field. We were going over, you know, small parts and just repeating it in our heads. And we had these gloves on. I've never twirled in gloves before, so we make the move again and again and again, because you can't feel the weight of the cane. It's not the same. And we talking about our bows, and I was like, dude, I'm hitting the flow, bro. Like, you know, we hitting the flow. Like, we trying to get hype, man. The whole cast is getting hype, and we went out there and we saw all those people, and then it was just like, boom, locked in. Yeah, it went by like that.
So the crowd hyped you up.
Oh yeah. Well, we couldn't really hear the crowd.
Yeah, can't really hear it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we had in-ear monitors in our ears because the echo that would have came off of the stadium to the stage, we would have been late. We would have been behind the band or behind the music. So I wish I could have heard the crowd a little bit more, but definitely seeing them was enough to, like you said, get that heart pounding and get that energy up, as well as looking at Usher. We could see everything that happened before he hit the stage, because they were coming toward us. We were just knelt down in front of the trampolines before we jumped on that stage. So it was exciting.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, when y'all brothers hit that trampoline and y'all flew through the air and hit that stage perfectly, again, I lost it. I was flipping out. Were you excited when you saw that trampoline and you were like, we got to hit this, we got to nail this, and as soon as we hit the stage, we got to get going, we got to roll? Talk about that, Brother Roller.
Were we excited? It was something both of us had never did before. So I'll speak on it briefly, and then I'll let Brother DJ talk about it. I mean, it was interesting. I'll say that it was interesting. It was exciting. I think personally, you know, I might have jumped too high. That way, if you saw my little left arm going like this, I was trying to land on top because I've been known in rehearsals to jump pretty high. So I took off, and then we had to get right back in the air again to bop to the side. So, of course, it was exciting. I'm just, you know, I'm humoring the moment for a minute, but it was definitely exciting. What would you have to say, bro?
Man, definitely exciting. I think the crazy part is it's a lot of hard work that goes behind that one moment because the timing of it. So that was the other part. It's like, we're not just jumping off, like we had to time it so perfectly. So I think, you know, yes, we put in a lot of work to get there, but that day of, you get one shot, you know, it's like one moment, that's it. So I'm like, okay, whew. So my heart was actually beating pretty fast just about that one part. Cause, you know, like Javi said, it was a lot on us. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just us. So I'm like, okay, we got to nail every single moment. And that entrance wasn't no joke. I'm like, okay, I ain't never jumped off no trampoline onto a stage. I'm like, all right, whew, okay.
Over
So
stage lights too, like
yeah, and we had to clear the lights. So like, I think once I felt my body knock that part out, I literally said, all right, ain't no turning back. We're here. Let's go. So that's really how it was for me.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. So you both mentioned it's been really overwhelming, the responsiveness from brothers and outreach. So are brothers asking you to come perform now with their stuff, or?
It's more than anything. It's been, Nuke, we're proud of you. Nuke, y'all did y'all thing. It was amazing. I was excited. They're sending me links of brothers actually being recorded, watching it on TV, kind of like going crazy. So it's been that, man, and it's just been a lot of overwhelming love, and flowers and recognition. So I'm grateful. I don't take it for granted. Not one bit, not one message, not one repost, not one like, not one, text. I don't take it for granted at all,
Brother Hill, go ahead and follow that up, brother.
Honestly, same. I have to say the same. I don't take anything, like kind of like Javi said, I don't take anything for granted. Not one bit. I think it's just been honestly nothing but love. Absolutely nothing but love. I think the one I want to piggyback off of is just seeing some of the reactions from other brothers around the country. That was pretty fulfilling. Seeing the joy, the happiness. That's a moment you'll never forget. You can't. That's something that's just, it's gonna stay in your heart forever. So just seeing how proud everyone was, seeing how this hype the frat was feeling. That's something you can't put into words almost. And it just warmed. I think I can speak for Javi as well. I think it warmed our hearts truly. And like a lot, everybody's saying, man, no, the Nupes won the Super Bowl, stuff like that. It just brought a lot of joy to see and hear, and yeah.
And it's amazing. Even beyond the bond, just everybody else that just sees our fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, that may have been interested, or ladies or other gentlemen, they just see like Kappa is like at a different stratosphere now because of what you two brothers did. I want to ask you about performing with Usher. Did you guys get a chance to perform with him before the game? How was that interaction with him and his people? Were you able to interact with him at all much?
We were. We had rehearsals, and every time that we had rehearsals, almost every time we had to run through the show. And so we had to run through that part with Usher. And as I mentioned, big shout outs to Rio, big shout outs to Akaman, big shout outs to Amy. As we were building this from the ground up, Usher had to know what we were doing to the left and to the right of him and behind him. And so he had to learn the routine to know how to fall in and out of it. So we had, moments with him when we were, teaching him or explaining to him, or I had one-on-one moments where, being a singer, I understand that his mind works a little bit differently. So he's looking for the words and where the movements fall on the words. So, we had to go back in our mind and say, okay, no, we're doing this here on while you're singing this, or while we're here. Okay, this is where this is happening. So we did get a chance to interact with him quite a bit. I think from day one, right? DJ? Yeah, from day one. The first day rehearsal started, he was there while we were figuring it out.
Absolutely.
Was he cool, Brother Hill? What was he like?
Definitely. The one thing I would say, anytime I've been asked something similar to this question, is it's the work ethic. I think I noticed the most. Definitely very hard worker. Great attitude in the midst of the hard work, though. He would see something and go for it. Figure it out. Like that's why he was there for every rehearsal, because of course he's about to be on the biggest stage, but you can just tell this is what he loves to do. This was what he was called to do. This is his passion. So yeah, he gets in and he gets to work, but he also has a great attitude in the midst of it. But he's there. He comes in. He's like, let's knock this out. Let's make this what it's supposed to be. But other than that, like I said, his energy was definitely good energy, great energy. Just brother that works hard.
Yeah, and you got to work hard right along with him, right? And so you talked about
Exactly.
that process of, you know, from sending in your tapes and, you know, the 2 weeks, the nonstop performance and just going in day after day, the grinding nature of it to perform in an incredibly large stage, something that you know, very few people will ever have the opportunity to do. I think I'm curious to know, going through this entire process, was there any takeaways from you? Is there something that you learned that you feel like maybe because all of this that we experienced to do this, to get here, to perform, to have such a great performance, is there something that you can take from that that is applicable going forward to you for your life? Did it teach you anything? You know, is there any type of solid lesson here for you guys that you feel makes you stronger, that you can apply to whatever it is that comes next?
Absolutely. I think for me, the first thing that comes to mind is that it takes a team. Just like we always say, it takes a village to raise a child. The Super Bowl halftime show was that child. Each person that was involved, from the crew to the sound to the stage hands to the field cast to the dancers to wardrobe, you know, that was the village. You know, it was a team. You can't really do anything and have anything to be at that epic level of achievement by yourself. And I really, really thank, you know, the NFL Ushers team for entrusting every single person that was responsible for, you know, a hat of their own respectively to execute that moment, that one moment, you know, to make history. And you know, I learned that most definitely, you know, it takes a team, as well as, like DJ said, that energy is so pivotal and important because you know, the energy from rehearsing to the energy of when, you know, Usher is in his moment and, you know, he's actually doing his thing and what he's called for is a totally different energy. I mean, and it lifts you up. You have no choice but to be lifted up, you know, while you're sharing that space with him, and his energy bounces off of yours, and hopefully you feed him some, you know what I mean? I felt DJ as well, his energy, you know what I'm saying? And so that's definitely important in the space that we worked in. We were both respective workers in the entertainment industry, DJ and I. So those are just some things that I learned.
I think for me, I would say, as far as something I took away, the biggest one that's been on my heart is just never, never, not only just doubt yourself, but there's nothing honestly you can't do. And if God wants you to do something, it's for you. You know, you know, never limit your dreams, your aspirations, or anything like that. You know, I'm just, like I said, of course, I guess I'm definitely blessed, but when I look at my younger self, I don't think I would, like, me today would tell, you know, my young self, like when I was a child, like, hey, you know, one day you're going to perform at the Super Bowl, you know? So I think for me, honestly, just being able to tell myself that, and, like I said, embrace that and take that in. I think the biggest thing for me is that I take away is, you know, never, ever limit what you can do or what could be for you. Because God will bless you with something that blows your mind. Because to be transparent really quick, when I sent in the submission, I had no idea what this was for. You know, and to be honest, I didn't even think I was going to get picked for it. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what it's for. And so when I got called back about it, and I'm like, this is for what? Like, I'm like, I'm not reading this right. Like, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm like, nah, this isn't what that says. Like, you know, I think me and Javi were so, like, mind blown. Like, but what is happening? So, you know, I think that's one of the biggest things I take away. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful and blessed. But you know, I can't ever say anything's too big for God, you know, and just taking it in, like I said, that's one of my biggest things I took away.
Brother Cole, he just preached, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Amen.
Yes. You preached right there, Brother Hill. And Nupes, real quick, I want to circle back to the pressure and you brothers taking through and fighting through that pressure and doing what you had to do and achieving at the highest level. Did you realize at the time, obviously you're thinking about your performance and what you had to do for that minute that you were on stage, which I'm sure probably felt like an hour because you're up there and you got all this noise and people and lights and just everything going crazy. But did you really think when you were performing or when you were about to go on stage and hit that trampoline, did you realize what this was going to mean to the bond?
Real time. I don't think I don't think I internalized it. I can only speak for myself. I don't think I really realized. Even now, I don't think I fully understand or realize what it meant to the bond. I just knew that we had a lot of people watching us, and we're going to see everything or whatever the camera would allow them to see. At least the people that were tuning in, but everybody that was in that stadium. The bros or not, they were going to be able to see us. So it was like, again, we had to put our best foot forward. But as far as what that moment actually did for the bond, I don't think I fully understood in real time. And even like we've been talking about more and more every day, it's beginning to become more and more real, because in a sense it's still unreal, that it happened. Sometimes I'm looking back on my phone and I'm looking at myself as if it's an out-of-body experience, as if it's a different person. Like, is that really me? Did we really do? Is that really DJ and I? Like, So, yeah, I don't think I could tell you that I exactly knew what it was going to do, the type of impact it would have.
I think what I would say to answer that, I definitely thought about that a little bit, in the sense of like, okay, it's only two of us. I'm like, no, if you really look at the whole show, that's the least amount of people that performed with Usher throughout that whole set. Like, where we had the least, so it was just two, and then Usher, and that's it. So I'm like, oh man, okay. The world sees us, every person in the stadium can see it. So maybe say something that wasn't caught on camera, like somebody in the stadium could catch it. Like, of course, it's the only time where you see Greeks on the stage. Of course, like everybody's gonna recognize Nupes. You see the canes. You see certain strolls that we do. So it's going to stand out. So I think for me, I definitely thought about that moment, and I was like, okay. The bond is this is on the line right now. we can't have no drops. We can't have no mess ups. We can't have nothing. I'm like, if we do well, woo! It's gonna be a celebration. If we have one slight error, I'm like, whoo! So that pressure definitely was on me, and I just knew what this meant. Like I said, for the fraternity, to be even bigger than not just the fraternity, for the D9, if we're to be real, for that whole representation. Like, this is huge. Like, this is a moment where the whole world will witness Greek life, and specifically Nupes, and be able to see like what it is that we do. And so I think, like I said, it was definitely something that crossed my mind. Now I will say, to kind of go off of Javi's statement, once we got in that moment, like once it was showtime, only thing I was thinking about was more so choreography and trying to be on point as possible. But walking out there, like those few minutes before getting out on the field, those are definitely thoughts that crossed my head, though.
So what was the feeling when you walked off, when it was all over and now it's done? And what went through your mind then? Immediately it was over, they went to the next part, and you guys were done. What came over you?
Look, I don't know about Javi, but that weight was off my shoulders. I was able to breathe. I was ready to shout. I was like, oh man, like I did it, like. And then I think some of the other dancers were coming up to us, like, y'all were so clean, like blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, Jesus, thank you, God, thank you, God.
So we had to run off that stage so that they could break down the stage and get ready for the rest of the game. So as soon as had stopped and y'all got commercial, we had to book it. As we were booking it back to the tunnels, we was just like, like, let's go. Like, we was all so hyped and just hollering and just screaming. Like, it was, I don't even know if I was thinking about the weight. I was just like, we just did that. Like, we all just did that. And then we were able to see, even when our portion of the show was done, we were able to see everything else that was going on. So it was like, everything was just happening in front of my eyes. And I was like, this is incredible. This is crazy. Everybody is going off. And so I think I just felt just the celebration of everybody, and the fact that the show, had just did what it did and was successful and was so epic. And to see all those people out there, it was starting to kind of click of what was going on. And so, yeah, I mean, we was all screaming and hollering. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Hey, we were screaming and hollering for you, man.
Yes.
And you've given us a whole week of, the ability to talk trash. As other Greeks have said stuff to me about their organizations, I said, yeah, but you did see the Nupes at the halftime show, right? So
yes.
Everything comes back to that, right? Every comment they make, yeah, but you saw the Nupes, right?
Yep.
So.
And we saw you throw up the yo a couple of times. I was like, yes.
Oh yeah,
I had to.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We was thinking about, DJ and I was thinking like almost every movement is a picture, almost every movement is a Kodak moment, from when we jump out, when we slide and we hold a yo in the air, to when we start and it's to the side. And then, it's like we were just thinking like, yeah, man, we gotta, that made it even more pressure. Our arms got to be sharp, our movements, our levels, the changes of weight, each bop, how we hold the cane, how we tuck the cane, our movements, like, it was very, very much so carefully crafted and thought out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it. Brother Hill Roller, one last thing from me. This is not Super Bowl related, but your chapter, the Chi chapter, just recently celebrated your centennial. So I want you to give some love to your Nupes on that centennial celebration, brother. And just what does it mean to be in the bond for 100 years with your chapter?
I say yo to the Chi Nupes, man. I know they're gonna be happy to see this. It's definitely special, all the bros have been, getting together. We're getting ready to celebrate our centennial actual celebration in April, so yo to all the bros that's going to be able to make it out to that. But it's special, to turn 100 and to have a centennial, not everybody can say that just yet. And, it's special to have the bros come together from all different years, all different generations, all different lines, share the pictures, share the stories, represent one another, and just, fraternize with one another. And it's special, it's definitely been a special day yesterday and day today and all of that. Like it's another celebration. You go from Sunday and then on the same week you're having your centennial. So it's crazy, it's crazy. It's been an absolutely wonderful experience and wonderful week.
And Brother Hill, give some love to your Kappa Beta Nupes, those Nupes at the University of Memphis. Shout them brothers out.
Absolutely. Definitely got to say yo to the good brothers at the conceited Kappa Beta chapter. Man, I think one of the biggest things I want to also shout out is some of those brothers from my chapter that prepped me for this moment. If you really think about it, some of those brothers that taught me how to do certain tricks with the cane, how to perform with it. Definitely got to give a special shout out to my chapter, because without them, honestly would not be here. So definitely got to give a good shout out to the conceited Kappa Beta chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yo to the good Nupes.
Yes, sir. I'll give y'all a shout out to you, man. Brother Javi, I'm right up the road in Connecticut, so spent much time with the Chi Nupes. So love y'all brothers, man, and Kappa Beta. I'll be in Memphis on Monday, man, on your campus, on your yard, at y'all program. So I'll be kicking it in Memphis with your brothers, Kappa Beta, and the Memphis Nupes down there as well for a couple days. So shout out to y'all. Much love to y'all, man. We appreciate y'all more than you
Absolutely.
know. Thanks for representing the fraternity the way that you have. And man, thanks for giving us material, man, to be able to just brag on y'all for quite some time. So keep it up. And Nupes, we're definitely going to touch base some more offline, and look forward, man, to the great things that you're going to continue to do, and here to support you with whatever you need, however you need, just let us know.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yo.